Hello, everybody, and welcome to Somebody's Heroes. We are back with the Ravencourt for a full-on Ravencourt meeting. Woohoo! Let's go. I'm Eric. I'm the Dungeon Master.
I'm Sean. I play Sylvain. You can find me all across the internet at Help Action Needed. Do it.
Or else.
I'm Yuri. Y'all can go ahead and find me at Yuri and the Beast absolutely everywhere, and I'm playing Morwen Sanature.
Hello, everybody. I am GM Justin. You can find me on all my socials at Forever GM Justin, or you can also find me at Roll5, and I'm playing Link.
What's up, everyone? I'm Joe. I play Verdeth Dagon. You can find me everywhere at New Age Geeks and New Age Cosplay. And let's go.
And I'm Jonny. I'm talking XP all over the internet, and I am playing Solarian, the very much not okay vampire guy.
Fantastic. So we're going to start tonight with Sylvain and Link. Link, you left Morwen a little bit ago and went back to your base, did a couple of things, scolded some people out, the whole nine. And
had to give a speech on not being mad but disappointed to somebody.
Oh, gotta love those disappointment dads moments. However, the deal you've realized, both Morwen and Verdeth have offered to house your person. However, you don't have your person. Sylvain does.
Yeah.
So you're gonna just use a teleportation circle, get on over to Sylvain's keep, and let one of the guards know. One of the guards runs up, finds Sylvain, and Sylvain, your friend, acquaintance, I don't know who he is. He's a tabaxi, is here to see you.
Keep him outside. Don't let him touch anything. I'll be down in a second.
Of course. And he runs back. Sir Tabaxi, you are to wait here. He will be down momentarily. And the door is just slammed in your face.
Well, okay. A little rude for friends, but okay.
I think you just see Sylvain, appearing behind you. Not clear where he came from, because he definitely did not walk out the door. You need something from me?
You'll see Link just do a quick about face and be like, yes, hi. You might want to talk with him. He was a little rude. I was hoping at least come in and just say hi. But also, yes, I do need something.
I just think it would be better for everyone if this statutory entry order was not, you were not permitted to it. It takes me minutes to make those, but they don't know that, and it would be a lot of work to remake them, you see.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that, but good to know, and I understand. Now, to the thing, so I don't take up any more of your time. The guy that we picked up the other day that you were having fun with, going through your teleportation thing with your wings, I need him.
Why? I really don't care, but I want to know. If you're going to take something from my horde, I want to know why.
For experimental reasons, that is going to Morwen.
I think you just see, a very, excited look across his face for a second. He's like, Morwen's been experimenting on a lot recently.
Yes.
I wonder if she'll be kind enough to, fill me in, as yesterday she didn't not give answers, but was definitely trying to give as little as possible, so if she's to be the one taking something from me, I believe she could at least give me the courtesy of telling me what she's taking it for.
I mean, technically it belongs to me because of reasons that I've found, but yes.
And technically he's in my dragon's horde, which means he's mine. So.
Yeah, I should have really clarified that. It's more like I probably owe you rent for using up space. So my apologies on that too. But yeah, if I can get him and I can take him off your hands and then go take care of that before our little meeting that we have.
Physical body? Do you need the entire thing? Do you need the thoughts? What all do we need here?
I need the whatever douchebag McGee looks his whole being. I need him right here. Physically, mentally, spiritually, holistically, him here.
have talks with Morwen about payment then. Here you are, and you just see like a hole open up above you, and he just falls to the ground, because at this point it's been about a week and a half that he's just been like the game of Portal from orange portal to blue portal, falling through space, unable to stop. Like, not even just floating, he's just been falling because Solarian said it would be fun. And so, like, essentially the equivalent of the blue portal opens up next to you, and he just sent rocking down to the ground. There you go. I believe that's the one you're looking for.
Yes. Okay, awesome. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. You'll see as Link just goes over, grabs him, and just, like, starts dragging him over to a circle. I'll catch you over at the meeting, buddy.
Yep. Have fun.
Link,
Poof.
roll a perception check real quick as you're dragging him.
I'm decent at perception. Let's go with an... Yeah, let's go with an 18.
Okay. So on an 18, the guy you're dragging is the guy who summoned you, that the founder killed.
Yes.
7 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
He is half Warforged, half human, and except for your research, he should be dead for all purposes. He looks up at you and just smiles. Spits up some blood.
Ugh.
And
Dude,
just
not over the robes.
You wanted him back for what reason? I can send him back to space.
No. I got it from here. Thank you, Sylvain. And you're just gonna continue, like, as I'm dragging him along over to the circle.
And you guys teleport right there in the middle of Morwen's lab, because that's where you put the fucking teleportation circle. There is an empty cage that you can see right around you. And Morwen is standing outside the cage.
My question would then be, does the cage around us allow for speaking to occur? Like, is it just one of those soundproof things, or it's just like, I could be like, hey, I have him. Thank you very much. Can you let me out? That's cool.
You can talk through it. It's just a cage to contain a person.
Mm-hmm.
Because you put the circle in the middle of her floor.
Yep.
And it now fades away.
As you see the circle fade away from the floor underneath you, and you look around, and yes, in fact, realize that you teleported yourself and the person straight into the cage. You can assume Morwen probably just assumed you were going to just send the person instead of coming along with it.
Man.
And she turns around, this time doesn't attack you outright, since she was expecting something to appear in her lab. Turns around, looks at you, realizes that, oh wow, there's two bodies, and wow, that is Link again. And as you wave at her, she chuckles, and because you are in a cage, and she finds that very amusing.
Hey, Morwen, I'm here. Can you get me out? Steve's here, and he's chuckling and also coughing up blood everywhere. I'm just like, these are new robes. I kind of don't want that on there to stain and whatnot.
I genuinely did not expect you to come in with them. But honestly, I don't know why I bother really expecting anything to make sense with you.
Expect the unexpected. That's the thing you need to learn from me.
Right. Oh, that is a lot of blood. What did you do to him?
It's fine. Just it's easier to study. I don't really give a shit. Just get me out of here. You can ask him all the questions. I don't care.
Would you be angry at me if I left you in there a little longer?
But why?
It's amusing.
Okay. Okay. All right. I guess I'm just gonna hang out here then. I'll just watch you work.
I am almost done. I promise. Just 5 minutes.
Okay.
Let me just basket in. And she turns around and keeps writing on her desk, working on what she was working on. And it is, in fact, about 5 minutes or so, where she sighs, puts her pen down, and says, turns back to you. All right, I did say 5 minutes, and I did enjoy this very much. I realize I don't mind you so much this way. But you are going to... Here, put your hand through the bars.
His paw will go right on through.
She'll put her hand over yours, and when she touches your paw, she gives a tug, and you are able to walk through the bars of the cage to the outside.
As soon as
beings can only enter and exit with her permission. Essentially, it is a magical cage to prevent people from leaving.
As soon as Link goes through, you'll see him as he takes his time, like, good thing you kept your time and said 5 minutes, because anything longer than that, I was about to break out like my little lute and just start playing a song. I've been working on something, but the rest of the people that I work with are just not a fan of it because it goes into a cycle.
How about you leave it for the meeting? Yes?
Hey,
all right.
I was only in there for 5 minutes. You kept your word, so I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to need anything to keep me occupied. So, yeah.
Right. I did like you much better in there. I am going to go back to my work now.
Okay. I assume you don't want me to watch, so, actually, I don't even know that anymore. But do you have someplace where I can go and just, like, be of not issue with you? I don't want to bother your work.
Literally anywhere else.
Okay. Then he's going to point to, like, a direction. Is that's your stairs upstairs? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so how about, for your troubles, go get a snack or something. There is a teleportation circle in the corner. There is no door, no stairs to her lab. And if you do go and stand on it, you are immediately taken up to her study in her home, right? And that is kind of how she goes in and out to avoid unwanteds. You have actually been the only person to be able to enter uninvited in a very long time.
I think one thing you see before Link leaves, and it's not even a thing of disrespect in his mind, it's just a habit at this point. If you have like a small notepad, as he walks over to the teleportation circle, he's just gonna like right off the desk, hop on.
He's been doing it so long; it's just a second nature in anyone's house now. As you do that and you stand in the teleportation circle, it flares up with a pinkish color energy, and as you do that, you see what looks like a spectral force. You saw him last time. Picks up the cage with one hand and just carries it into another room beyond what you can see, where you hear another voice just screaming, "Let me out of here, you fucking bastards!" As you just whoop, and enter Morwen's study, and you are standing behind Morwen's desk. In front of Morwen's desk, you actually see that Solarian and another male figure in tattered green robes are sitting in a set of armchairs on the opposite side. I would imagine Solarian's reading a book, and Verdeth is, I don't know, what is Verdeth doing?
Smoking his pipe.
And there we go. And the other man is smoking his pipe.
As soon as Link sees this, like, oh, hey guys, you're new. Hi, how's it going? My name is Link. Full name is Mystery Link, but you can just call me Link. Solarian, how you doing? It's been a long time, friend.
I'm doing wonderful.
That's fantastic. Same here. I just had to drop something off here to Morwen, and well, I'm here. I'm just here early because they're still working on stuff.
After a couple of seconds, and you guys get your greetings in, what looks to be a maid walks in. She seems to be half elven, very small, dark hair, dark skin, and walks in very, very shyly, just kind of, oh, I was only expecting one person. Which one of you is Link?
Oh, that's me.
Mistress Morwen said to prepare you some food, so there's, if you wanted to come with me.
Okay, I'm right there, and you'll see as he just kind of scurries on and just follows right behind.
Because she did say, go get a snack.
He's gonna make himself a peanut butter sandwich.
And as the two of you are now left alone in her study, if, you let the seconds pass, another half a minute or so, before Morwen herself appears behind her desk, through that same circle that you would have seen Link appear out of as well. And Morwen stands before you now, notices Solarian, and then immediately clocks the stranger standing in her study. I am going to assume he's with you.
Yeah.
A heads up would have been appreciated, bringing
The nature of his appearance didn't warrant any warning.
Interesting. And you notice, Verdeth, that she is really, looking you up and down to just try to assess as much about you as she can from your appearance. What does Morwen see as you stand in her study?
So, what you would see, he's probably got his hood up at this point, so you would see his eyes glowing faintly green beneath the hood. You would see, do you have any sort of special sights?
Actually, I have to, Morwen does have to manually cast them on herself.
Okay.
Which,
so never
in
mind.
expecting only Solarian to be here, she wouldn't have done beforehand.
Okay. So you would see kind of almost vagabondish in the overcoat he wears. It does have this tattered element to it that does seem to denote a lesser status. He probably would have his coat, the cloak kind of closed up, so you wouldn't see a lot of the what's going on underneath either. So besides that, you would see a raven kind of on his shoulder, but its head, instead of being a normal raven head, would be just this raven skull with these crystal structures growing out of the eye sockets. Besides that, I don't think there would be much else that you would be able to notice in this exact moment.
All right,
Well,
so you just
go ahead
look
and roll an
sus as
Arcana
hell.
check.
Will do. Oh, I rolled ass. That is a 27.
That is still plenty to know
I
that
have a plus 16 to Arcana.
Oh,
that's fair. That is absolutely fair for rolling ass, apparently. But what you do get is he is oozing magic. You can tell he has more innate magical potential than you. but it's
Interesting.
but the magic is oozing off of him has this natural vibe with just a dash of fiendish.
Interesting.
So he's got a lot of. If you were to like look at magic colors, it'd be a lot of the green, which you can already see his eyes glowing. But around his shoulder is glowing a little bit of that reddish, the reddish black with a little bit of brown mixed in for infernal, for fiendish magic.
I see against Morwen. I mean, and Link when he popped in, but since Morwen's here right now, what would I see? And I see everything.
He has true sight.
Good thing that I'm just a girl.
And life is a nightmare.
So, you would see a sort of a high elf, very clearly, with very long, pointed ears, dark, long brown hair. She has a very serious expression on her face. Not because, she takes everything so seriously. You just get a sense that she doesn't smile very often, right? The kind of lack of lines on her face that would denote somebody who cries, who laughs, who just, expresses themselves. There's a clear lack of it, because her face is very smooth. She's wearing a long, fitted white dress with a slit up one leg, golden colored sandals, a cloak of navy blue make that attaches with some golden pins to the straps of her dress and then flows down to the ground. Very simple, but very elegant. Clearly somebody who is used to being respected and looked up to.
No
There
magic items on you?
is-
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yes, so you would see, if you can see the magic items or the aura around them, you would notice that on her back, strapped like a sword, but hidden in between her dress, under her cloak, on the back of the dress, is a long staff that seems to be very, very powerful magic. And then some smaller magic items attached to her person and around her waist. A lot of her magical items, you notice, have been turned into jewelry as to pass off for normal things. You see around her, there is a dark, sort of purplish aura. And you would sense, I suppose, sort of the necromantic powers that she deals in.
Do I see any connections leading off of her? Do I see where they're going?
So, because of your special connection, Verdeth, you can see the same tether you've seen before, back when all of you were connected to the source.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
It's just one of those like invisible thread things. And in your head for a second, you see that your door is opened, and across from your door is another door that you do not recognize or have never been told about before.
Can I reach through the door? I don't know. I've never once used these abilities, so I don't know.
You can't go through. That door is just it's a Myosin can come in and talk to you door.
Okay.
But
okay. My last question then of what I see is, what do Morwen's fingers look like? Do they seem like she is working with them at all?
Yeah, I think you would notice, especially because she had just come up from her lab, you would notice like a little bit of ink on her hand.
Okay.
And as Morwen and Verdeth are just sizing each other up very intently, she looks to Solarian then. So, can we speak freely in front of your new friend, or...
Yes, he already knows about the Ravencourt. He's somehow close to Meissen, though we haven't really gotten into the details of that relationship.
That is quite interesting, as it is her I wanted to quickly bring up before the others arrived.
And at this moment, Verdeth, as you're just kind of looking around, your bracer on your arm vibrates in a way that you've only felt happen when the last time Meissen died.
Instantly rip his wrist out.
Yep, and it is pink.
Okay.
Instead of any other color that you've ever seen, because you've only ever seen it flashing red when she's being attacked, and then fading completely out when she dies.
Okay.
And then, gray when she dies. And then you've seen it yellow whenever she takes her mask off, which is hardly ever.
Right. Okay.
I am going to assume that you are aware of her little, not so little, plans.
Me?
She's directing to Solarian.
Well, I know that there was someone that came up from her past that I assume she's chasing after.
Right. Someone who she's assuming was taken by a god. Was it the goddess of winter? And now she wants us to attempt and take that person from that god for her. I am assuming when she arrives, that'll be the first thing she'll bring up and ask us to do.
Well, I have other matters to attend to, so I'm not sure if I'll be joining you.
I am actually hoping you will attempt to dissuade her. As you are the closest one that I know out of the Ravencourt, seeing as you two live in the same area and deal with each other a lot more often than the rest of us.
At this point, Sylvain, you finally make it. Inside. You made it outside and you had to walk your way in. You've been on the grounds.
Don't say finally when I'm here on time.
For a minute. But they arrived early. You arrived on time. And you finally get... Just walk right in. The doors open auto-magically for you. And you're brought right in. And you see Solarian, Morwen, and a stranger in green robes, smoking a pipe.
Are we stooping so low we're getting hermits as new recruits, and where are the other two?
Do not blame me. Solarian brought him.
Yes.
And the other two?
Link, I assume, is still in the kitchens, helping himself to my food.
You'll hear just from a distance, like, this is fucking amazing!
Okay. Well, shall we get started then? They can join us when they join us.
Yes, Verdeth and Meissen still not here. Interesting for Meissen not to have shown up already.
I will be the one
Thought she'd be here
taking
doing
lives
the
in
entire...
space tonight.
Oh, the hermit knows Meissen. How fun.
What do I see on this fucking guy?
boy.
With true sight.
Oh,
So,
God.
Yuri, the internal building we're in, how tall is it?
It is a very nice, like, mansion. So her study is actually, if anybody has bothered to look up at all, which most people don't.
I've observed everything, just so that's clear.
It is a study with shelves on the sides, and then it is open to the second floor. So there is kind of like a balcony sort of area around the walls where there are more shelves, but the center is empty and open.
And I'll
to
say
the upstairs library.
Would see essentially a projection because his true form does not fit in this building. You would see like the projection of a 50-foot tall dragon who seems to be half made of metal and half made of like just the void that is space and time itself. You see an arm that seems to be holding energy that I don't even think you'd recognize at this point because it's from literally beyond our realities. He just holds in his arm as a waypoint marker. You'd also probably see within his blood like essence of time flowing back and forth with his heart beating as though he's controlling it and it's keeping him alive. On his arms, you'd see two bracelets, one of them black, which you can see is a giant sword, and one of them blue, which you can see is a giant bow. And then you'd also see that he has a wedding ring on that is invisible, but you would see it floating there.
Other
I
than
think-
that, he would look like a specter.
Seeing that, what's your passive perception or insight?
Both 23.
Okay. You would notice Verdeth kind of like slightly bow towards you and like in due reverence. Just enough where it's like not so anyone looking at him would just only if you're directly looking at him you would notice.
Oh, so Sylvain's directly looking at everyone at all times.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing slips past him. Yeah, I think he doesn't react to it, but he definitely acknowledges it. The other thing, since Morwen described what the aura off hers is, you'd see a really conflicting aura surrounding Sylvain of three different things kind of fighting for him. One of them, a deep black that doesn't feel evil but also doesn't feel peaceful. It just seems neutral, like a point of true neutrality. One of them being a very like deep watery blue, and then the other one being a silvery form. That one seems to kind of be on the way out. None of them are elementally aligned or anything. There's three different like magical forces competing for him.
Okay. Do you have true sight?
Ping as
Okay.
Would also ping as celestial and draconic. If
Okay.
you're getting those.
So you would see specifically you having true sight. The cloak is obviously heavily magical. You see hanging from his waist just the hilt of a blade that is magical. You see ley lines almost like feeding up into him, just like he just naturally drawing in ley energy. But besides that, he has no sort of deception on. He just is appearing as as true as he can.
He's just a girl.
And
He's
vice
just
is
a girl.
Since
Which makes
you
the hermit comment so much more apt.
Since you also have true sight, you would see that something is different about Solarian. He has a little bit more glow, I'd say. His usual like black paleness is now just a little bit warmer. Yeah.
Well, shall we start?
I suppose.
Yes.
Where for me? Where for me?
As you
Right.
hear Link's voice coming from behind.
You're gonna see like Link carrying a plate with like two sandwiches on them, but they're like stacked sandwiches too.
Scooby-Doo
like
sandwich.
yes, exactly, with like two little toothpicks on each side. It's just coming. I was like, all right, did I miss anything? Anything important?
No.
Nothing of import.
The same kind of maid that took you away is kind of like running behind you, carrying another 2 plates for you. And she's, kind of trying to catch up. And Morwen turns to speak to her. Yes, bring some more. I will leave the circle open for you all to be passing through. Bring enough for everybody. We should have, I suppose, only one more coming through. Just direct him straight to the circle, so he may join us as soon as possible. Well, to the rest of you then. I suppose we ought to get things started. And she will step to the circle, hold her hand over it, and say a couple of words that any of you with enough magical knowledge, which I think in this particular room is all of you except for the maid, to basically like a telephone number, just to change where the circle is going. It glows for a couple of seconds, dims down, and she just kind of gestures at all of you to please step through.
Well, I'll just walk in.
Mm-hmm. Now, as all of you begin to step through, the first thing that hits you is the smell of sea breeze, the wind. Then your eyes adjust. It's so much brighter. You realize we're outside. And we all find ourselves on the top of a mountain. Somewhere in the many, many small islands of this archipelago. It is a mountain that is lush and full of sort of like a forest on the sides, leading down to the ocean. Very small island, you notice. To one side, you can see there are some volcanoes. To the other, in the distance, you see what you assume to be the capital city of the Ardamir archipelago. And where you are standing is a plateau that has been manicured and clearly meant for things like this. There is a large, ornate stone table, a round table with chairs around it, enough for everyone, obviously. And as you are all taking in the view around you, you see the maid come through with a second maid carrying all sorts of platters of food and drinks and wine for everyone. Now, Link and Sylvain would recognize, or at least think that the second maid looks familiar. As it is a person who she had, up until very recently, been keeping in her lab. And you see this second maid, as opposed to the first one, who is very clearly her own person and very alive. This tiefling maid with her red skin, it's duller than you remember, and you see her eyes are vacant. There is nothing there. This is a husk, as she just very robotically helps the first maid put your platters and your goblets in front of you all. And then they both disappear back through the portal, leaving us sitting around this stone table.
Those of you with true sight see that inside that tiefling is deep, deep, deep infernal power. Like, very strong infernal.
Interesting.
Resourceful as always, Morwen.
Yes, well, I figured out what her magic was coming from. I feel bad for the girl, I do not remember her name. But it turns out her magic was coming from her blood. It was innate. And so I had to take it.
Wasn't she one of the ones that we had fought the other day? What is it? Helping out
helping out with your little council thing, Sylvain.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's why I remember her. Cool.
Yeah.
Slightly morbid, but you know what? Slay.
Resourceful.
Well,
Speaking
she would
of
have
your
been dead.
resources, and Link here, Link let me know that you needed one of mine for an experiment, and he let me know that you would privately discuss the deals of our agreement when needed. So I'd love to know a bit,
I look
just
at
getting
Link
it out of the way beforehand.
very fucking confused.
I was like, first, we didn't even have the conversation because I got distracted with food. So you brought it up. And second of all, he belongs to me. So I just need to pay you rent.
Well, he belongs to me, and you took him back and said that Morwen would give me what I need from it.
No, I said that I would take him back because he belongs to me, but I owe you rent, and we'll talk with Morwen because she's doing all the experimental stuff that she would need.
Either way, Morwen, just so you know where you're at in this arrangement, you are a part of it now.
See, I was led to believe that I was gifted this person for my experiments in exchange for keeping him out of trouble.
And the point still stands.
Very-
It's just the additional layer of somebody wanted to take claim over somebody else's property. That's the whole thing. It's just like, well, technically I owe you rent for that. It's still mine.
Right. So then that is for Link to pay you for.
Yes.
We'll have a talk.
Yeah. Lovely. Lovely. For someone who deals in contracts and pacts, Link, you really ought to be better at wording them.
I did. I can't help if somebody can't. If it's not in a binding contract, then they interpret what is said to whatever it is that they interpret it as. Contracts are very simple, but we didn't make one, so it was just like, hey, this is kind of funny. You do what you do, and I'll come back from later.
Well,
The best kind of contract.
right. Which is why I try not to make them at all. Now.
What you have.
And she, like, just... You can see she's holding back from saying something at him. And she's trying to contain her temper now.
Do it. Say it.
As he is very clearly,
Out
for
loud.
podcast listeners, eating a sandwich. And she just turns to the other two of you, right? So Solarian and Verdeth, just as to not look at them in an attempt to control her temper. So, are we starting without them? I was
Well, it
made
seems so.
aware that we will not be seeing Myosin today, right? As she turns and looks at Verdeth.
Correct. I'm just gonna pull my hood off, revealing the rest of my face. Do I see anything with Link real quick, just as a aside?
Oh yeah, no, 100%. You see a fox-looking being wearing the same clothes wearing a set of blue robes with this black cowl around it that have like little incantations that allow him to be able to do any sort of teleportation while also being able to help manipulate as far as like friendship, whole person, stuff of that nature. And then also a red scarf that he is able to make into a bandana. And his snout goes out maybe about like you would expect for a fox. He does have like a little chain that connects to like a little set of glasses that aren't in his normal form visible, but in the form that you see are there. And then as far as aura is concerned, it's more of a black and red kind of mixed in together, chaos, and as well as a little bit of darkness. But it's not the chaos is coming from the red that is just kind of like floating around him. You see him smiling, you see him laughing and joking, but you can also tell that there's a level of darkness, which is represented with the black, that is subtle within it.
Is this like primordial forces chaos, or just like infernal? Okay.
Infernal-ish kind of. Yeah.
It gives off very fiendish vibes.
Yeah,
Okay,
fiendish, yeah.
Not abyssal or infernal, so not demon or devil,
Right.
but fiendish.
Okay.
Okay. So your maids leave the portal open because you're still half expecting Verdeth anytime. But the five of you have your orders of business. Morwen, you called this meeting to order, so it's your floor.
All right, so first, a couple of things. I did want or hope Myosin would show so we could, I don't know, figure out what was going to happen with the whole god situation, but seems that'll have to wait. However, there is a second god for us to deal with as well. And she looks at Sylvain, right? Orcus.
Godling. Pain. Whatever we want to call him. Yes.
Yeah, and she kind of cedes the floor to you to kind of tell us, like, what is happening.
Due to situations beyond anyone's control or influence, the lesser lords of the Tale have started to decide to war with each other once more. If any of you have noticed the increased volcanic activity, those are the machines of the fiends and the devils and the demons all starting to fight each other again, and we were kind of hoping to avoid this, but it seems that someone going missing sparked a bit of a flame, and someone leaving a family sparked a bit more of one, and at this point it's just, we don't need it again. It happened a couple 100 years ago. I finished it swiftly. It's gonna happen again. I'm not finishing it this time. This is an everyone else problem. There's an easy way to finish it, however, if we want to just go down, find the Lord of the Undead, or Hells himself, whatever he's calling him these days, and just kill him flat out, it won't be that hard, and it will solve a lot of problems. It would also be a personal victory of mine. Before, as it's apparently public information these days, I make my departure from this place. It'd be a little public victory of mine to see him gone.
I heard you were making some sort of deal with his son.
Deal is an interesting term. Looks to you, looks to Link, looks back to you. There's no real arrangement between there. I just saw a moment of aid when somebody in dire help needed it. After all, I was invited to his execution and saved him from a fate worse than death, having to deal with his father, and now I think his dad's mad that his little son is off doing whatever he's doing. You know, what's one missing child that you plan to execute when you're able to use them as a backup plan in case you ever need a ward to prevent a war from starting again?
Right, and so we are aiding this son of his to murder his father as a personal victory for you.
We are aiding me and the good of the world by doing this. His son, I suppose, gets it as a collateral. I'm not vain, but it would be a passion project to see Orcus finally put in the ground. It's more that if the four of the lords down there start fighting from the hells once more, it's going to bleed into everyone else's problems much more than it will mine. So, you could say I'm doing it out of spite, but more realistically I'm doing it to make sure that when I'm gone, nobody gets hurt.
How noble
So a
of
god
you.
that we need to kill.
You could call
When?
him a god, but he's not good, he's not effective, he's not smart, he has no real power. And as soon as possible, quite honestly.
You spoke so much of Myosin's foolishness to attempt to fight a god to get someone she cares about back. And now you suggest we attempt to fight a god. What makes you not a fool where she was?
One, she wants to fight an unliving entity of winter incarnate that's not here on any material plane, and she has no real power. She can't even make a choice for herself. The one I want to take down has trapped himself here shackled as a material plane victim for the past several centuries, has very little power, probably small actual access to his deific domain if his son is still stealing from it, and is frankly quite weak. Plus, I have power, and I know how to wield it.
Well, I think I speak for both me and Verdeth when I say we have other matters to attend to. At least for the foreseeable future. Well,
I would love to know why you brought him along.
Yes.
To something like this.
yes. Well, there is a minor inconvenience about the floating city of Taudi. We have found that it is losing power and will most likely fall within the next couple weeks. So, we need to do something about it.
She looks to Sylvain. Is that before or after you leave?
DM question. With Sylvain's purviews, would he know? Would he have like the literal psychic foresight to know the answer to that question?
Well, Sylvain has already figured out that he's been adjusting for centuries the lunar levels to line up.
Oh, I know mine. But like, would Sylvain, being a being of time itself, be able to glimpse when the city will fall to know the answer to that question?
No, but okay. You would know that there have been a couple of time blips that have started, which is strange. Chronomancy wasn't there, and now there's a little bit of chronomantic stuff that's been going on for the past couple of days. It's only been a couple of days, and it's not throwing time out of whack for your plan. But the odds of the two lining up, pretty fucking good.
Yeah. They're gonna give or take a day. I may go first, it may go first. Who can really say based on actions of others, but I'd give it about 3 weeks. Maybe 4 if you're lucky.
Great. Then I'm going to assume you want your little under godling taken care of before you go. Meaning within the next couple of
true
weeks.
Desire for it. I'm trying to give you all a better future when I'm gone. If we want to put it off, we can put it off. It's not my problem anymore.
And the city, how do you know it will fall?
Well,
is that to Solarian or Sylvain?
Solarian.
I point over to Verdeth. Verdeth has information that he shared with me.
What would you pray tell? Your information is then, Verdeth, was it?
Yes, ma'am. I have seen my own eyes that the city is slowly losing power. I have my own subordinates and allies keeping track of the energy that has been dissipating from the city, and it is scheduled to fall in the next coming weeks.
I've seen the power levels as well, being the one that is overseeing Tau Tech. There are processes that are in place to prevent this from happening, but like I said, there are things that need to happen in order to prevent it completely. Right. And Verdeth and I have an appointment.
This is a city that has been flying or as long as anyone can gather, really. And now it is losing power and threatening to fall off the sky. Why? What has changed?
That is a great question. I haven't been able to find a reasoning as to why. I just know that it is happening.
The why is frankly unimportant to the matter at hand. It is just, we know that the city will be falling, and if this council is going to live up to the reason it was formed, it's important for you all to take that a bit more seriously.
Yes, and you clearly don't do things like this very often, do you? You see, the why is what leads us to figure out what we do about it. And without knowing why, it'll be infinitely harder to attempt to stop it. I can't believe I'm saying this, but this is one of the few times I do wish Myasin would have attended. See if in that giant library of hers we can know or find out how it was even put in the sky in the first place.
Well, Morwen, Sanature, Myasin is here with me now, so if you have a question for her, feel free to ask.
Then ask her that. Does she know how it was put in the sky? Sylvain, you're almost as old as dust. Any insight?
I'm younger than Solarian.
Are you now?
Yes.
Honestly,
I've just done a lot more.
With the way we all look, it's so hard to remember how long any of you have been alive.
It's all
Real quick.
relatively speaking.
Real quick,
Yeah.
Verdeth, if you want to throw around the age, you're welcome to do so.
Yeah. I'm 1900 years old. I was here before the founding of this.
Sylvain is 120 years younger than Solarian. No, I think I'm only 20 years younger than Solarian, but I moved here 100 years after you did. But yeah.
Right, so
Eric, just real
one
quick,
of
Kate doesn't
you-
know the answer to that question.
Okay, so, here's the thing. Kate's...
They were alive when it happened.
no they
Oh,
weren't.
I was?
No, they weren't. That's the problem.
Is it older than that?
I can make a
It's-
history check in that case if you want.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do.
Okay. Yeah.
History
Let's say I've got
Nope,
an advantage of
because...
plus 13. Let's see what one of these does.
Have they heard of it?
That's a 17 as the higher ones. That brings it to a 30.
Seeing as how none of us know the answer, the raven on Verdeth's shoulder just casts legend lore onto the table and shows everyone what this information is.
Hell yeah.
Even...
I did get a 30 on my history check, though.
Yep.
Yeah, so you would know some of these things already.
Mhm.
So, you guys do know that, the city itself, this is what you guys knew before the legend lore goes off. The city itself dates back to around 1800 or so years ago. Verdeth, you might be about 5 to 10 years older than the city itself. But it started off as a small settlement, small town, and then grew from there. It became what it was a couple of years later, and so on and so forth. But the hunk of rock has been there since year zero, since the meteors happened. That is one of the few things that Myasin was able to tell Verdeth. Because the exact details, her people didn't track before. But they did track where the meteors fell and the effect therein. That would be stashed in some of the older records of the Library of Solarian. But with Munin, good old Munin, you've been to Taulifa before, so he does have more information. Above you, on this table, you guys see a projector that showcases the last roughly 2,000 years of Taulivan history. I'm going to hit the highlights. It started off as a set of mountains that connected from one side to towards north towards the Frostfang. So it's all part of one large mountain chain. The ravine cut between the mountain chain, split it in half into two different chains. But the meteors hit. One of them, in the dust cloud that was left behind a hunk of floating rock. Then you see a cloaked figure in entirely black robes and a group of other explorers. Yes, it's the founder. You guys would all know this to be the founder.
Son of a bitch.
He
Motherfucker.
showed up with a bunch of other explorers. He magics them up to the top of this rock. They start a settlement. They then build an ship of some kind up there. He magics it into an airship, and he flies away. And they continue building the city, and they start bringing people up and down, because now there's one airship, and after one, they've built more and more and more. About a century goes by, and this small town is now a village, small city / village. Another couple centuries go by, it's now an actual full-on city. Another couple go by. This is where, about 1,000 years ago or so, this is where Sylvain, Solarian, you guys were now alive and on this continent. Whether or not you're paying attention, that's a different story, but the city's almost exactly what it looks like. There's not a lot in the invention cycle, there's not a lot in a bunch of different places, but it's almost like what it would be in today. Then about 500 years ago, Tautech is founded by a member of the Ravencourt. And they start digging and mining and come up with and create the Arcano crystals that you guys use today in the city. The Arcano crystals come from the rock itself. There's some type of crystalline veining structure in that rock that they are mining out to produce these. Then they start shipping them and exporting them about a little while later. Then technology continues to rise to where it is today, about 100 years or so ago. And they've got small engines, they've got automatons, and every one of these pieces of technology uses an Arcano crystal as its power source. There's not total power failure yet, it's just brownouts. But if enough brownouts happen, that can create a localized blackout. Enough localized blackouts can create a citywide blackout. Who knows what could happen from them.
The city politics that have led to this are not my concern. The environmental impact is where my concern lies. And I understand, and I mean no disrespect in this, and kind of looks towards you, Sylvain, in this moment. But my name is Verdeth Dagon. I am the Verdant Protector, Werewapir Tempest, Ethiel Alien Indor Naorth, Zami Duk Mis Cruel Ger, and I call on this council to honor its founding and defend the lives of the people of this world.
Here's the thing. None of you guys go back to the original. None of you guys know why it was originally founded.
Yeah, so Steve, I just barely got here onto this council, maybe about like less than 10 years ago. So, I need a more compelling reason as to why I should care about this floating city. So,
Why am I not surprised to see the founder there?
Oh, he's next. He's next on the...
Next? Well, that
yes.
means you have somebody ahead of him already.
I'll give you two guesses.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I only need one. And I hope you all the best in your endeavors. I have a feeling I'm going to help you out with that second one. He has a lot.
I will take as much help as I can get.
answer.
I don't know what to expect, so...
Back to the topic at hand. If it's a magic space rock, the likelihood of saving the magic space rock is limited at best, right? We're not going to get another meteor to strike the Earth and put a magic rock in the sky.
I don't think replacing the city is the intention. I think it's stopping it from causing cataclysmic damage.
Why don't you just get the people off of it?
If my assumptions are correct, then what is causing this city, or what will cause it to fall, is the depletion of its resources, its magical, arcane rocks.
Yes.
And if we do manage to somehow stop it from plummeting into the earth, right now, it will still happen. The magic in that rock will eventually deplete. May it be faster through human intervention, or even if we left it alone and nobody else used any of it, it will deplete like a battery.
I don't think there's a way we can stop it from falling at this point. They've already cannibalized themselves enough that come the festival, whatever party they're about to throw, it will fall.
And you want a mass evacuation?
I would like for your all's assistance in saving as many as possible. I can only do so much to slow the descent.
Just get the people off of it now.
I have an idea.
I cannot
We
do
have
that.
3 to 4 weeks.
I have an idea. Crazy concept. Morwen,
Not surprised.
you make a whole bunch of sciencey bullshit.
I
Sylvain,
do.
you have a lot of magical bullshit. Solarian, I imagine you have some magical bullshit too, and Eric, you also have some magical bullshit as well. So why don't we figure out?
It's a fourth wall here.
Just right through the fourth wall.
Why don't we just figure out a way to, because the rock is still floating, just fucking take it out the sky and slowly enter it into the ocean, right? Yes, there will be some issues with
Turn it into an island.
Exactly. That way, 1, the people don't have to evacuate. 2, it's less strenuous on us trying to evacuate all those people. Then we have to worry about a humanitarian crisis at that point because you have all these displaced people around versus us coming together using our magical bullshit to bring them and make their own island. It'll float. It'll do whatever it does, but it's less work in the long run.
There's a lake already underneath it. Just drop it. Let it land in the lake. It'll be fine.
It has to come down slowly, or else then you have to worry about the force it's coming down in. Then it'll destroy the world.
You say we have to worry.
This is
if it's
the
human
second
intervention that caused
time.
this, it's human intervention that can deal with it.
This
That's
is the
why I'm
second
here
time
trying
I
to
am,
stop it.
Having the same thought of something I never thought I was going to say, but Link, I do believe you've been holding out on us. There is a brain in there after all. I actually agree with that. Now, to your point, saving as many lives as possible. Honestly, I don't hate the idea of having an entire city indebted to us. Now, sure, lives, yes, we will save many, many lives as well.
Right.
Now, to all that is fine and good, but in order to bring it down slowly, we would need a lot of magic. Quite an amount that I do not believe. And this is no offense to any of you, I do think very highly of most of you. I do not believe any of us possesses enough magic to bring the city down slowly enough to save those lives. But I do have an idea that I think would actually solve two of our problems at the same time. Now, we do have a little godling running around causing mischief. And, Sylvain, we've had this conversation before, have we not?
We've had parts of this conversation, but you seem much more receptive today.
When a god dies, magic doesn't just disappear, it doesn't just appear. It is transformed, it is transmuted, it moves from one thing to another. So when we get rid of this godling of yours, that magic has to go somewhere. We might be able to figure out in these couple of weeks a way to harness that magic in a way that'll let us use it to bring the city down safely into the lake.
Lady Sanature,
Yes.
with all due respect, your play at power is not
Morwen's
my
not
concern.
playing at power.
And
I
you,
can vouch for her on that.
oh
Well-
so noble one, are going to tell me you have a better idea to save those
I
people.
can catch the city. I need you all to ensure that the politicking of it is handled beforehand.
If you catch the city, you think the fall won't
That is what I'm
destroy
saying. I can
buildings and
stop it
people?
from... I can stop the rock from falling. At least slowing its descent. I like the idea of us lowering it into the lake at a rate, and I could use assistance with that. But to stop a cataclysm, I can do by myself. I'm asking you all to help and ensure that we can help as many people survive. You making a play for power against some god or semi-deity.
No, you
is-
don't understand. This deity was going to die regardless. But now at least his power will serve some good.
You know,
I'm not
Morwen,
taking it for myself, though I
Sure.
could. And I did think about it.
Morwen, what
Yes,
we could
Link.
do is, because you said your name was Verdeth, correct?
Yes, Master Link.
Okay, just it's Link. Don't call me that. You specifically are asking just for our assistance with the political aspect of it, right? Morwen, if this is not a way for us in the council, or some of us in the council, to lend itself to making deals, contracts even, with the council, or whoever runs the city, well, I mean, who better to make these deals than us? I'm just
Right.
happy to make the deals. I don't care who else
Or-
makes it.
I can just make them subservient.
Oh, but what is the fun in that?
Oh God, you are all
We
so
have to
Well-
fucking
break us
selfish.
in.
That one's reaction is the fun in that, Morwen. Please go on,
Listen.
Solarian. I'd love to hear this.
I can take each of them and make them into one of my own. Tell them what to do. They will listen to what I need them to do.
The concept's
Now,
still,
if that means that,
the
That
concept's
is
still the
the problem.
same.
sure. But
That
now we have the
means
politicking
leaving
taken care
the
of.
entirety of the city's governance into your hands. And though I like you
What's wrong with
personally
that?
very much, I don't quite know how I feel about that.
Con- regardless,
Trust you,
someone's going to
Solarian.
take hold of the city. I just want to know who, how, and what we can do for it. I am all for Verdeth's idea of doing X, Y, and Z, but again, our aspect of it, where do we benefit from?
Exactly.
This group was
Morwen,
founded for the benefit of the plane.
looks,
This
What?
group was founded by people lying and cheating to get us in here. You can step off with what this group was founded for if you have beliefs about that.
Yeah.
Morwen
Oh, God, yes.
looks over at Verdeth, just turning red and running his hands through his hair, and just pushes a goblet full of wine closer to him. just pushes us along the table to him.
You thought I was bad. Where is
Troopers exhausted.
Vela?
I don't
Listen,
know,
I
he's
love this
missing.
conversation, but I
He's
just...
missing all of the fun.
At that moment, you see your teleportation circle whir up, and Verdeth step through with a hooded cloak up and all that. Verdeth, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw for me.
That's a 7.
Okay. You
Well,
fail,
if you-
and this pisses you off that he's even here, even though you know he's supposed to be here.
If any of you have any business to finalize, I suggest you do it within the next, maybe 10 seconds.
As you're saying that, the Verdeth's cloak is just flowing open as he's casting Freedom of the Winds on himself, and slowly starts to elevate off the ground, and he then darts towards Verdeth, igniting the sun sword as it kind of cuts through the edge of the table, just like a lightsaber burning through the stone. Just dives towards Verdeth.
You're gonna see his Link just goes over, like scoots his way over to Morwen and pulls out like this bucket out of nowhere, and be like, "Ooh, Timmy's actually going to do something. This should be fun." Pulls
Well,
out, starts
I guess not 10 seconds. All right, and I'm running in there too.
Okay. Both of you go ahead and make an attack check.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
I notice Link. Now, me and Link are just sitting next to each other, just watching. I turn and look at Sylvain to see if it looks like he is going to make a move in any direction.
There's no indication on his face that he is doing anything in this moment.
28.
Okay.
25.
Fantastic. Don't even need to know his AC. You both land your one hit. Go ahead and roll your damage.
5 fire. And, 12 radiant.
You're holding back.
Yeah.
That's not even normal weapon attack. That's just the magic damage.
Wondering if I want to
Smite.
add,
Do it.
smite in there.
Fucking do it.
Do it. 2 radiant attacks.
Yeah, let's do it. Why not?
Okay.
Or sorry, I meant slashing, not fire. That was my Wrath of Nature. I didn't do that
Okay.
yet. Right. Of course. Bonus action going to do I'm going to pop open my Radiant Soul as I'm rushing over there.
For
And then
initial
so
hit.
an extra 10 radiant damage is going to happen. And yeah, why not? Let's throw a 2nd level Divine Smite, which is going to be maybe 3, 4 because he's undead. 3 and another 17 on top of that.
So grand total like 40 something.
Yeah, something like that. And that's one
Perfect.
attack. I have
Perfect.
another one.
I only do 15 radiant damage because I am not a swordsman fighter. But as he kind of like comes in, he reaches his hand, grabs Verdeth by the throat, and jams the blade into his side, and just, "I want my wife back, you son of a bitch."
Oh, this is personal. I like
Solarian, go ahead and roll your second attack.
Amazing. Would you say that I would have flanking on this attack?
On this one, yeah.
Great.
Worst part, even easier, you have advantage because he's being grappled by the throat.
Alright, so that is really fucking high, like 32 or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
Here is 8 plus 9, so 17 slashing, and then that is 12 radiant. It doesn't get that second 10. Let's throw another 2nd level Divine Smite is fine. 8 and another 6, so 16, no, 14. Another 14 on top of that.
Okay.
So a lot.
Between all your damages, you did about 100 damage.
Yeah.
Roughly. Between both of you attacking, you did about 100 damage, over half of that was radiant. The form of Verdeth walks in, takes a step, gets the two of them just run in, attack, and Verdeth turns to smoke, and Link, roll a perception check for me.
Man, I am just rolling low today. That's an 18.
I love that you guys say I'm rolling low, but it's always teens. It was only a 15 because you heard this just a day or so ago. You just hear a, which is the same sound he made when he plane shifted before.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys think you guys hear the pop, but you guys just assume he's dead. You just did a fuck ton of damage. Solarian, roll an insight check for me.
Yeah, I'd love to. That is a 19.
Okay. You can't tell 100% because you're not his lineage anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But you know how much of a fight you put up against that worm a little while ago.
That wasn't enough.
There was no fight in this.
Yeah.
There's more than meets the eye, and you're not sure if he's dead or not. But he's not here anymore, and you know that much.
It would seem that our prey got away. And now, we no longer have the element of surprise. Does anybody know how to
Can
locate him?
Solarian make me a wisdom saving throw, please?
Absolutely.
And while he does that, Morwen turns to Verdeth and goes, "For so much noble talk, taking someone by surprise, quite underhanded, don't you think?"
I don't think I ever claimed I was noble.
You
I'm
sure
just doing what
definitely
needs to be done.
You sure definitely
You
did
said
have
noble
some
talk,
noble
not that you
intentions
were.
there, Brian.
18.
My spell save is a 19. Mid-sentence, you get Hold Monster cast on you, and you just hear in your mind, "Is it really your fault from Grace to allow emotion to act so fast when you, the Master of Decorum, cannot get through a conversation?"
Am I able to talk when paralyzed?
He's made a telepathic bond with you. So you can't
telepathic.
talk, but we're linked right now. If you choose to respond.
I don't know if he would. I think he's just, he's just focused on not being able to move now.
Then if you don't respond, he's going to drop it, just trying to give you a moment of sense. Because he's seen what you can do when you need to fight, and your brain is not where it was the last time we fought together.
Now.
I know, and I'm just gonna turn around and walk directly to Sylvain. Not in, like, any threatening manner or anything, but in, like, a...
Yeah, he hasn't moved out of his chair. It's not hard to get to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need him dead. The hold that he's had on me, the strings that he's pulled, he deserves to be gone.
That's perfectly
And so-
fine. However, moments ago, Morwen said she would aid you with the second, if not the first. If we ask before acting, it could have maybe been enough to finish him off. A thought for next time, if there is one.
Well,
Morwen
is there
looks
anyone
very
that can
amazed.
locate a person?
Do I currently
Yes.
have that prepped, is the question.
No,
Yeah, I can.
Verdeth just kind of holds up his hand and just starts spouting ravens into the air that start spreading out in all directions.
Come now. Let's have another drink. I would love to know why our new friend wants him dead.
Are you looking for your next adventure to get lost in? Do you enjoy dark fantasy, horror, slice of life? Are your favorite trucks obsession? Tales of Three, a Rainbow Dice Club production, is an all-queer Dungeons & Dragons based podcast that airs on Fridays. Find us at Rainbow Dice Club on most socials and at Tales of Three wherever you get your podcasts.